Hi everyone, welcome to Late Night Snack. I'm Allison Kinnear, and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. I jump on Facebook Live and do a short little video about leadership or parenting or just life. And tonight I wanted to talk about emotions and work because sometimes it seems like the workplace is no place for emotions. And yet, in order for work to move smoothly, we need a certain level of skill at managing our emotions and navigating the emotional world of others. So, I wanted to start off by telling a story about the last place I worked before I struck out to be an entrepreneur. I had been working. I had been there for probably about 6 months, and uh, it, we were it was getting to be kind of an intense crunch time because we were going to get this very thorough inspection that was kind of like lifting the hood on our business and kind of taking a look at all the different aspects, financial and environmental and systems and people. And one of the women who had worked there for a very long time, she had seen a lot of different directors come and go. And she's a well-respected person. And, before I got there, the organization had a very tumultuous past. And so we were kind of in the thick of things, and I was checking with her and just saying, how are you feeling about the inspection? Do you have any questions? Anything, that needs addressing before they come? And she said, no, I'm fine. And she said, and she had been like kind of aloof with me for these 6 months, kind of sussing me out to see who I was. A little bit of distrust, I think, in the beginning. And she said to me, I appreciate you. One of the things that I noticed is that even when things get really stressful, even when times are really hard, you don't take it out on other people. Your stress doesn't turn to anger. Like you don't take any of that stress out on anyone. And I really appreciate that. And that was kind of a turning point in our relationship. And it was both a wonderful acknowledgement for me to realize that if stress is happening, I deal with it myself so that my team doesn't have to deal with my stress. And secondly, I just felt like hugging her. I was like, oh, you poor thing. Like, what have you been through? Because she said, there were a lot of directors that came before who would, when they would get stressed, they would take their stress out on the team. And, I think it's one of those things where in the workplace, there's a lot of, people will say, well, it just matters how good you do your work. Just get it done. I came from, when I was at Google and working with a lot of engineers, there was a belief that it was just like, I just had to be good on the technical side. And I know while I was there was a really big push around not making sure that it's not just what you do, but it's how you do it. And not all companies value the how you do it. Some companies I know totally value throwing other people under the bus. It's a sign of strength, so to speak. But that kind of behavior ends up costing us at work in so many ways. It increases turnover. It costs us mentally. It costs us emotionally. It often can cost us physically when there's that kind of antagonistic workplace culture and environment. So I wanted to talk about, they call these kinds of the way that we work together soft skills, as if they're soft, as if they're secondary. And it was interesting. I was talking to a friend of mine last week, and he was talking about a situation at work where this project kind of landed in his lap. The person before lacked soft skills was working with a really big client on this contract work. And because trust had been so eroded by the other project manager, at the very last minute, the client decided to opt for a different company, even though the service was less than, even though it was less quality and wasn't as good as what that, what his company could provide. But this is what happens when we lack the soft skills, we erode trust. We cause things to slow down. Like the quality of the product stops mattering. If people don't want to, I'm going to curse here for a minute. If you're being an asshole, nobody wants to work with an asshole. I mean, there are times that we have to bring out our assholery into a situation. But if people lead with being an asshole, then what's going to happen is that they're not going to be focusing on what you're saying. They're going to be focusing on how you treated them. And I guarantee you, as a manager, the one thing that I found came roaring back to me every single time was not the technical skills of anyone, but it was or how they did things, like the way in which they did their work. Sometimes that happened. But what they really came to me about was feeling excluded, feeling gossiped about, not being seen, not being acknowledged, treated rudely, being ignored. There were all of these other factors, these social emotional factors that came roaring into the workplace that myself as a people manager needed to navigate that social emotional landscape. And I think for any one of us who deals with clients, any one of us who deals with any kind of customer service, any one of us who deals with anything that requires collaboration, anything that involves working with people, the strength of our product or what we produce takes us only so far. In order to really take us to the next level, we need to be able to establish rapport quickly, establish trust quickly, act in complete integrity. And if you can do those things and learn how to manage your stress so that it's not squirting out at the people around you and causing secondary problems. If we can learn that emotional intelligence that comes with having to, what happens when the shit hits the fan and you are at your wit's end? What happens when there's all this turmoil at home and you're coming into work? What happens when there is someone on the team that's a total asshole, and how do you navigate that? These are the skills and how do you keep the team rapport up when they are stretched and maxed out? These are the skills that we have to build, because technically we don't have to build them. However, our teams can do so much better when we can establish that kind of community and that kind of rapport and that kind of support. There are ways in which we can leverage a team and kind of interweave all of the skills and the talents and the gifts of people, bringing out the best in them and mitigating some of the issues that are there. But that comes with a great deal of soft skills, and a great deal of emotional intelligence. I was just thinking about, I see some people, hi Suparna, hi Lauren, hi Raji, hi Sandy. I remember Lauren and Suparna, you'll remember this, or around this time, we had a teacher who left on maternity leave and then ended up leaving the school. And she came back with her baby, and I was giving a tour. And so I had these other parents, and even though she had left the company, she came back and it was like a party. All the people that were there were like, "Oh my gosh, you're back. Oh, let me see the baby." And, everybody just it was parents who were doing a tour. So it was all the teachers, and they were all coming out, and everybody was oohing and ahhing. And the teacher was like, "I just missed everyone. I just wanted to see everyone and bring my baby, and how's everyone doing?" And it was just this love fest at the front lobby. And I remember the parents were like, who who is this person? And I said, oh, she's a teacher. Oh, but she's not a teacher anymore. She actually left the company, but she just came back to say hi. And, we're all excited to see her. And that was not specific to that one individual. That happened to us all the time. And in fact, I know we had 2, 3, 4, how many was it? There were quite a few teachers who left, went and worked in a different kind of job, different facility, who left us and then came back, because the kind of atmosphere that was created, the kind of support systems, the kind of network, the kind of, like social infrastructure that was there, that kind of honored each person and worked together as a group, was something that was so unique that that they wanted to come back to. This is what can happen for your company. This is what can happen for yourself. If you are a manager and you're wondering, how do I fix all these crappy team dynamics? We have to remember that emotions are a part of the work landscape. We can't forget it. And we have to learn how to navigate that with ourselves first, so that we can model it and facilitate it on our teams. So I leave you with that. I know I didn't give too many tips other than just saying it's really important. It's just really important. And it's the grease that greases the wheels to make the machine work better. So I hope you have a wonderful evening. I have some big things happening. In fact, next week, I don't think I will be doing a late night snack. I probably won't. I'm traveling to Whistler, British Columbia, and I'm going to be speaking at the W North conference up there in Whistler. And then next weekend is my Conquer the Imposter Summit, which I would love to see any of you, one of you at. I've already got quite a few people that are coming, and I'm so excited to put this on. We're going to do a deep dive into these soft skills, into talking about communication, into talking about how to manage some of those emotions and how to keep us so that we're not on the verge of burnout and exhaustion. So all of that is coming next weekend, April 13th and 14th. I would love to see you there. I will not be seeing you next week for late night snack because I will be traveling, and but I'll see you the week after. All right. So I wish you a full night of uninterrupted sleep tonight and always, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.